Hey, it's Richard at Engadget, and today we are going to show you guys our ASUS PadFone. Yes, it's finally out in the market, but only in Taiwan at the moment officially. But you can also try various channels like Negri Electronics or even Amazon. So anyway, let's focus on the hardware first. So as you probably already know, this phone comes with a 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 chip, so it's the latest and the greatest. The screen is a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED panel, not the Plus version, which is a bit of a shame. But under a bright daylight like this, it performs really well. So we're okay with it. But when we're looking at tiny text, you can tell that there are some noisy pixels down there. But you know, it could be to do with cost and the slimness, which is what ASUS has told us anyway. But anyway, let's move on because we can go on all day about that. As you can see, the phone here features an aluminum bezel, so it's nicely machined and it feels solid in our hand. But the rest of the phone is mainly polycarbonate, and you can see on the back that it features the ASUS Zen design that's also seen on the ZenBook and the Transformer Prime, except it's not metallic here, but it still looks great here, and we do like the feel on it. Kind of gives a good grip as well. The camera here is an 8 megapixel f2.2 camera that also does 1080p video recording, and the quality we've seen is actually pretty good. So you guys will be able to see this in our sample clip down below in our review. Also it comes with a flash, and there's a loudspeaker in the back. You get the usual stuff like the volume buttons, there's a microphone here. On this side you have the micro USB port and the micro HDMI port, and then there's these metal contacts here are for the external 3G antenna inside the PadFone station. And then you have the 3.5mm headphone jack at the top, bang in the middle, which is a nice design here. And then there's the power button. So, as the name says for itself, it's a PadFone, so obviously you'd want to use it in a tablet when you need a bigger screen. So as you can see, what happens is you just put the phone inside and boom, you're already in this tablet interface. It's still the same system. This is Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich, and ASUS has been waiting all this time for the software to come out so that they can actually work on this product. And they've done a pretty good job, we must say. Everything here is, or a lot of things here you would have seen on, say, like the Transformer Prime, but they've also added some nice little bits. But we'll just go through some of the nice customizations there. So one of the main features that ASUS has added are these quick access toggles to various features like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and screen rotation here. So that's super handy, and also you can adjust the screen brightness with this slider. And it also comes with normal mode and outdoor mode, which is handy when you want to go outdoors. You can actually disable these add-ons if you really want to, but we strongly recommend you just to keep hold of this. And we just wish more manufacturers would do this kind of optimization. We're just surprised that not many of them do that. But anyway, so let's hide that. Another thing that ASUS has added is this pad-only tab in this app tray, and this is where you'll see the apps that would only work in tablet mode. So for instance, the distro app from us. It's a super nice app, by the way, so you should check it out if you haven't already. But yep, so that's kind of self-explanatory. And furthermore, just like the previous, just like the Transformer pads, you can go into settings and access all the various ASUS customized settings here. And one of the main features here is the charging policy. So there's the auto mode and always charge. They actually kind of, there's a slight inconsistency with the name here, because if you use the widget here, this is the PadFone Station utility, where you can quickly access the stuff that are optimized, well, they're made to work with the PadFone Station. So you can change what we said earlier is actually intelligent mode and charging pack mode. So what happens is the intelligent mode would sort of prioritize the power to be pushed to the phone, but when it reaches a certain battery level on each device, it will try to sort of even out, just so they can provide more or reserve more juice for the PadFone Station itself, because this tablet does require its own battery power in order to operate. So well, we'll come to the keyboard in a second, but That's the whole point of the intelligent mode. Whereas if you need to charge up your phone real quick and not bother using the tablet, then you can use the the charging pack mode. The tablet itself is pretty heavy. It's actually around around 850 grams, so it's even heavier than the original iPad. So we've tried holding it single-handedly for. Well, I did a bit of a singing at a friend's wedding, and I was holding this to read the lyrics of it, but my hand quickly got really tired, so I wouldn't recommend, well, unless you want to give up your gym membership, I wouldn't recommend holding the tablet single-handedly. Just lean it on something, you know. For a first generation product, it's kind of a given, but for them to get to this stage, it's not bad at all. So, speaking of which, let's put this tablet into here, and now you have yourself a 10.1-inch netbook. And we almost forgot to mention that the screen here comes at a 1280 by 800 resolution. It's an IPS panel, works well under daylight as well. Obviously, in terms of contrast, it won't beat the 4.3-inch QHD Super AMOLED screen on the phone itself. But if you need accuracy, color accuracy, then the IPS screen is the way forward, really. The keyboard itself feels just as good as before, and like the original Transformer, we still have the 2 USB ports here and there, and an SD card reader, which actually supported SD-XC apparently. And over here we have the ASUS 40-pin dock connector. This one here only does power though, so we've already tried putting the USB adapter in here to add a 3rd USB port, but it didn't work. So that adapter would only work with the dock connector on the tablet itself. So just to show you guys quickly the ejection of the phone, we've kind of develop a single-handed method, which is, so what you do is you slide, release the latch for the cover, and what you do is you push the cover down to about 90 degrees, and the hinge is really strong, so you won't have to worry about pushing too hard or anything. So, and then what we do is we just use the same hand to grab the phone out. Super easy, not as scary as it seems. So as you know, you'll quickly get used to it. That's what happened to us anyway. And then putting the phone back in is just a matter of pushing it in until you feel a soft click, and within about a second, you're back to the tablet interface. So again, ASUS has done a superb job here. But speaking of which, that switching mode, which is called dynamic switching, isn't supported on all the Android apps. Only a handful of the native apps on the PadFone would work with dynamic switching. So, for instance, if we were to use the Engadget app, and then if we pull the phone out, you'd expect it to switch to the phone interface, but what you get instead is an error message saying that the application does not support dynamic switching. We kind of hope that ASUS will address this issue in the future, because really you can't get all the developers to optimize their apps just for this one device. So hopefully we'll see what ASUS can do for all of us. Last but not least, battery life. So in our regular battery rundown test, the phone itself lasted around 6 hours, and then with the tablet together, it can do around 10 hours, and with the keyboard dock, we get 17.5 hours out of it. So that's pretty impressive. And obviously, since the standard test uses the 3G connection rather than Wi-Fi, you can imagine that for a normal usage, you can get even much more juice out of it. So pretty impressive. In terms of availability, we're not sure when it's coming to the US yet, but it is out in Taiwan, so if you want to fly over and pick up one, or you can try different channels like our friends over at Negri Electronics or Amazon, eBay, you guys know the usual stuff. So obviously it'll be an even better deal if it launches with a carrier, but we never know. So good luck with finding that. And we must say, ASUS deserves a lot of recognition and credit for launching this kind of a bold device. We like it for what it is. We're not sure whether it will catch on, but it will definitely appeal to a certain, a small market, we should say. and we're pretty sure the majority of them would be one of you guys out there. So this is it. This is the ASUS PadFone, the whole package.